So here's what my top 10 looks like right now in the NBA.
Ooh, okay.
All right, and just to show where I feel Jokic is in his development.
Okay. All right.
All right. Number 1 is Kevin Durant.
I won't disagree with you on that.
As of 3 o'clock today, I moved LeBron James out of the number 1 spot. All right.
I don't have a problem with that either because
Right.
KD is playing out of this world.
Right. Number 2 is LeBron James. Number 3, and this is where we can definitely argue, I have Steph Curry. You know what? I'll correct that. Kawhi Leonard.
Okay.
All right.
That's who I would have put there.
Number 4, Curry.
Okay.
No. Number 4, Giannis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah?
Yeah. Number 5 is Curry.
Okay.
Number 6 is Harden. This is how crazy the NBA is right now in terms of talent. James Harden is like the 5th or 6th best player in the NBA. After Harden, I'm going to say Jokic. Then Lillard. That takes me to 7 or 8.
I think you about to be Lillard was number 8.
It's number 8.
Can't even say it.
Paul George.
Okay.
And Kyrie Irving.
So you got Paul George before Kyrie.
I could be wrong. I do. Man, listen. Kyrie does a whole lot of not winning
I agree with you
when
on
he
that.
leads the team.
I agree.
I don't have any point in Kyrie's career I can look back at and say he led a team to the playoffs and won rounds. He never made the playoffs with Cleveland until LeBron got there and was the best player. He then wanted to go somewhere else so he could lead. He gets injured like right away. The team does well without him. And if this is the first year that he's led a playoff team with him being the number 1 undisputed leader of the team, as of this point, it's not looking so great in terms of this upper echelon of players.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I think there's a couple people now that you might have left off the list. What do you think about Anthony Davis? He didn't make your list.
You're right. He should be there instead of Paul George.
Yeah. Paul George, to me, I consider him a top player. Everything about him, his stats, everything says he is an elite player.
Right.
The only issue that I have with him, there are just points. The injuries happen. That's not his fault. But he always seems like in the playoffs, something happens and it just doesn't pan out for him. He's on fire. First half of the season, MVP talk. We talked about him. I was like, man, this guy's balling. And then somewhere around All-Star break, it just kind of like decline. Hits the playoffs, kind of does like this and then bottoms out. So that's why I'm not completely there with him either. So he's kind of on that Kyrie level. Kyrie's a little bit, maybe a little better than him because he actually did win a championship. But alone, I don't know if those two can put a team on their shoulders.
Who's the other guy that you had that I missed?
Hold up. I'll tell you right now.
What are you thinking about Damian Lillard? Is it right that he should be considered now a top 10 NBA player?
I think it's right to consider him. I think part of the reason that people don't really pay close attention to him, he's on commercials and TV a lot, but he doesn't, for me, I've never really connected with his personality. I've never been like, ooh, I want to see what Dame is doing off the court. Not to say he's not a cool guy. It's just that maybe it's the market. Maybe it's the people that are marketing him. I don't know what it is. But when you watch his game, you look at his numbers, he's right there. I mean, he's right there. You have to discuss it. Now, the other thing about him.
And beyond that, he is leading a team that in the West, a tougher conference, that is now a perennial playoff team with him being the number 1 player all the time.
That's true.
Throughout
and
that.
they are shorthanded until they got Nurkic this year. Nurkic helped a lot.
Right.
And they have what's his name? What's the other?
Right. But it is undisputed his team. He is the leader of that team.
Yeah, and he owns it. So I definitely give him credit for that. Now, Russell Westbrook.
That's a tough one.
Russell, this year I really don't feel like he was like a top 10 dude. I really don't think so.
Right.
Like I think that his jump shot is not what it needs to be. I like his hustle. He's a hard worker. He tries to put his team on his shoulders, but I just think sometimes he does some things that a guy 2-3 years in the league does, right? Going one-on-one with people, forgetting about the team concept, not realizing that you're hot, I'm not, let me get you the ball. Like there's a lot of little things that make me wonder about Russ. And I even start to wonder, is he maybe even coachable? Because you're starting to see the same results every year and you're seeing the same habits every year. And it's like he's regressed. This year, I didn't expect that of him. You know, you catch an MVP, I'm expecting this, or at least stay in that same level. And it's kind of like he fell back some.
I don't think when it comes to talking about these elite players, and this is what I say when we talk about all time.
Right.
It's not in a bubble. This is a comparative analysis.
Right.
Meaning there's other people involved.
Right.
So that's why you can't just be like, oh, LeBron's the greatest of all time, because you can't say that with the existence of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Michael Jordan. So in this particular case, comparatively speaking, it's going to be very tough to put Russell Westbrook ahead of any of the players that were previously mentioned as top 10 players.
Yeah. And I don't want to hear any greatest of all time until somebody's retired. We don't know what you're going to do until you are out of the game. The numbers are set,
now,
and we can look at your impact.
I don't go that far, but I go far to the point where when you get there, it's because you have accumulated.
Right.
So whether you ended up with a 13-year career or a 20-year career, once you hit a certain point, and I can say, oh, your career is now better than this guy.
Right.
Then I can do that. I don't need for you to be done, but I do need for you to be accomplished to the level of other players in that particular group. For example, I got into a Twitter thing, James Harden, the greatest scorer of all time. And I'm like, okay, wait. Hold on a second. He's 75th all time in NBA scoring. So for him to be the greatest of all time, you have denied the respect to the 75 people in front of him that completed their careers, that scored at incredible clips. You know what I mean? You cannot say he's the greatest scorer of all time at a point where he's 75th all time.
That's my whole thing with wanting to wait till the career is done. You can't, there's no way to really get everything in one play. You're talking about, like, say, Michael Jordan. Look at those numbers. You have to probably play a full career to get to the point where you can even match or either surpass his numbers. So that's what I'm saying. I'm going to wait till your career is done.
That's the thing with LeBron. LeBron is there in terms of his all-time numbers.
Yeah.
He's
definitely there. And I have said that I consider him to be on track to be the greatest, probably statistically, in multiple categories. However, we're not there yet. I want to see how this thing kind of pans out. Let's see, who else did we miss? I think we talked about, did we say anything about Chris Paul? Jimmy Butler.
Chris Paul's not there. And we'll get to Jimmy Butler. Chris Paul's not there. Chris Paul is barely top 20 right now, if even top 20. And I doubt that he would even be top 20.
But I really do. I agree with your assessment here. I mean, that top five is loaded. KD, LeBron. You know what? Only person I'm not sure about top five is Steph. Statistically, he's there. The numbers are there. I'm just not sure. Like, look at right now, Golden State. They're panicking.
Right.
Like, if Steph can carry your franchise, which I think he can with some other pieces, then you're not so worried about KD leaving. Right.
Well, he's done it before, though.
Yeah, he's done it, but
now he turns into a clown because he's just right. He's just
so
extremely
next
loose
year he
with
would
the
say,
basketball.
I gotta come back this year, next year,
You know
and
what?
be
He's
ready.
still going to be loose with the basketball.
Yeah.
He's still going to be trying tricks that no one's ever seen before. And if you remember back in the finals versus the Cavs, the LeBron Cavs before KD,
Yeah.
one of the reasons the Golden State lost was Steph was just so willy-nilly with the basketball.
Yeah.
You're turning it over left and right. So, yeah, I see what you're saying, but do you take away KD and you let Steph go, and you're talking about 35, 40 a night, plus 7 assists, and winning 60 games without KD on Steph's back.
That's true.
Because that's what they were doing before.
But it's gonna be real hard. It's gonna be really hard for them to duplicate the things that they've been doing, even before KD got there.
No, KD's on a different level now. Forget about it.
Yeah. Doing it all year.
Giannis tonight, 15 for 22. 7 for 10 from the free throw line, 16 boards, 4 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, 39 points.
In 34 minutes.
In 34
Didn't even
minutes.
play most of the game.
And I'm telling you, that's one of the differentiators to me when it comes to Giannis and why I put him up there in that very upper echelon and why I think he has a chance to be the best player in the game. Those 16 rebounds, bro. Those 16 boards. You know, and like I said, he takes those rebounds and they turn into points on the other end. That's game-changing type of stuff right there that you can't plan for.
This guy is doing spin moves at the dotted line and then turning around and being right at the basket long enough to dunk it. Like, it's unstoppable. It's like something you've never really seen before.
Now, how about Kawhi Leonard and Toronto?
Kawhi's elite.
Kawhi's elite.
I mean, this is what it is. I mean, I watched him yesterday. He plays in slow motion. And the reason I say slow motion, he is so smooth and methodical with the way he gets to the spots that he wants to on the court. He hits the shots that he's supposed to. He takes the shot that he's supposed to at all times. You know, he's on top of his game. I'm thoroughly impressed. He's about to get paid this offseason, and I'm hoping he can go deep in the playoffs because he's fun to watch.
Right.